There. Hello. There was a glitch, so I'm sorry about that. I was not able to, for some reason, go live. I hope the people who came on can hear me, can see me. Let's, I'm just going to stay here for a second and get my people back. Oh, I hope you can find me. Hi, Beb. Hey, I had a technical glitch, so I had to shut down and come on again. It's nice to have you here. So, nice. Those are cool little hearts, aren't they? I love them. I love them. Hey, Brazen. Oh, how nice to have you here. This is going to be a very basic. Oh, can you actually find them? I thought I canceled that one. I don't know if I'll ever figure out how these things work. So, yeah, okay. So I guess welcome to the live chat. All right, well, so I have over here set up on the palette the primary colors. I'm going to do today the primary colors. That was, oh yeah, I hope they do too. Thanks for checking for me. I just feel absolutely useless on this whole in this tech world. I don't even know how you left here and went over there. Anyways, I will figure it out one day. Hi! All right, you guys. So this was a request from last week. I hope they find me. Hello, Jomin. Hello. Welcome. So I'm getting this. I have the palette set up. You guys will have to let me know because the lighting is blue lemon still live. We're going to have to see. It's 7 o'clock my time, so checking to see how things are going with the lighting in the studio. What I want to do today, first of all, is just get a handle of the color mixing. And I'm just using the primary limited palette, you guys. So just a yellow, a red, and a blue. And it doesn't really matter if you're using a cadmium yellow or a lemon yellow or a, I don't know, pyrrole red or cadmium red or alizarin crimson for you. It doesn't matter. And a blue. It can be cobalt blue. My go-to is ultramarine blue. So it's just those three colors. And we're going to mix whatever we can mix. Now, this is the first thing that I want you all to do. If you're a beginner here, if you're a beginner with painting and just getting a handle on oil paints, you can be using acrylics or gouache. Obviously, you can use your own medium, but the first thing we do is take a breath and relax and let everything go. We are not here let me put it this way. We are only here today to play around. So we are just going to have some fun mixing colors. So you know how you go and you see all these color charts and you have to get the values right and you know and all of that. We're not going to worry about any of that today. All we're going to worry about is mixing up the colors. Yeah, I had a little bit, Erin, I had a little bit of um, uh, a tech thing, a tech problem. For some reason, it wouldn't go, I couldn't go live. So I had to shut that one down and start over. What we're going to do is move on over to the palette, and I'm going to just, all you're going to be doing is seeing the palette and hearing my voice. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are all here. This is really fun. So again, what we're doing today is going to mix up all sorts of colors. The primary colors, we'll mix secondary colors. I don't know where everybody is at in their painting, but it doesn't matter. Even if you are well established as an artist and you know your colors and you know your palette, coming back to this primary limited palette is great. You will always learn something. You will always understand that you don't need to create exactly the same color that you're looking at with a lemon or with whatever it is that you're painting. What we're doing here is playing around and having some fun. So let's get over to the palette and let's do some color mixing. Okay, give me a second so I don't a moment of, what do you mean orientation is locked? Oh, you guys, I don't know how these things work. How do I unlock the orientation thing? Hi. My tech problems. It says orientation is locked. So let me try this again. There we go. Oh dear. Okay, so again, I'm using titanium white. This is cadmium yellow, quinacridone rose, and ultramarine blue. All you guys need is a white, a yellow, a red, and a blue. I don't care what it is. Just how come black is not needed? That's an excellent question, because you can mix your own black. And essentially, black is a very, very, very deep blue. So think of your black, especially ivory black, is a very, very dark blue. So we are going to mix a black, and you will see. And here's the thing, because black is such a dull color, it has no real vibrancy to it. It's just kind of black. And the grays are very gray, and you'll see. Just follow along for now. I'm not saying don't use black, but for this, let's just see what we can do with these three colors plus white. Okay? So, orientation locked means it will not switch from portrait to landscape. Okay, yeah, I don't know why I wasn't trying to switch it to landscape. Maybe because I was moving the phone. Okay, you guys. So the first thing we're going to do is mix an orange. Obviously, I think most people know how to do that, but I'm going to just get a mix going here of the quinacridone. And if you have paints and you are doing this with me, that is great. Just mix up a big pile of orange. And here's the thing, again, we don't care, especially today, how orange it is. Is it more of a yellow orange? If you add more red, of course, it's going to be more of a red orange, right? We don't really, it doesn't matter what, it's just a matter of mixing the colors and getting a feel for that. So these are your secondary colors, right? And that's basically all we're going to do with the primaries. Going to mix up, let me move this over here. And let's get a green as well. And I'm going to show you the beauty of mixing grays. Now you guys are thinking like maybe a gray color, like your typical gray. That's not what I'm talking about. Let me show you. In fact, in this painting here that I'm working on, all of these colors, all of them are grays. So what we are mixing here with just these three colors, we're going to mix a bunch of grays. And you will see that, in fact, you know, here's a green that'll work. Okay, that's a yellow green, isn't it? I'll go a little bit darker. Everybody can see okay? Okay. And again, mixing the ultramarine blue with a quinacridone is going to give us that deep dark purple color. Okay, so you can even see you made a lovely Payne's gray with Prussian blue, azo yellow, and alizarin crimson. Yeah, see it. Yeah, you can basically mix any color that you need, and you can paint an entire painting with just your primaries. So if you're playing around with this, those of you who are new, just means that when you want to mix a gray, we have, let's say, this orange, okay? You're not going to put this orange on your painting. It's too vibrant, it's too bright, and it will come off gaudy, especially if you're painting representational work. Yes, I will. Yeah, I will explain. So especially if you're doing representational work, and let's say you're painting an orange, and an orange is in fact orange, right? Here, let me show you this little painting. So here's an orange, right? The only place that I probably have anything that is really close to the orange color that I had mixed is, you know, maybe in here, but no actual, you know, orange color. Can you see the difference? All of this is basically a gray. There are just a bunch of grays, just gray mixes. So how do we do that, right? And it's the easiest thing. This is why I love the primary limited palette. So we have yellow and red, we have our orange. All you need to do is pick up a little tiny bit of the blue, right? Start out small and mix that in. And you are going to greatly, do you see how it just takes away a little bit of the vibrancy of that orange? And, you know, adding just a little bit at a time when you're mixing your colors just to get a feel for it. So let's, just kind of put that on here. You can see it there. That's the mixed color, the grayed down color. Next to, you see the difference, right? In a painting, if you're using just your secondary colors and your primaries, it's going to be very, very, very gaudy and something that people don't want to look at. You can have, again, little areas that may have, like maybe in your focal area, you might have a little dab somewhere of a clean color or a color straight out of the tube. But most of your painting is going to be grays. It's going to be, you guys can see the difference, right? Obviously. And so if you are mixing colors, if you're at your palette, we're going to take some green. Now, the opposite color of green on the color wheel, which I really don't want you to worry about today. I suppose most of you know about it anyways, but here is your complementary color. And this is a very, very powerful color. So if I mix a little bit of my red in there, it really tones it down as well. Let's see what that looks like. And here is, right? It's just grayed down. This is a grayed down green. And that is what you want to do. Question: should you decide whether your three are warm or cool or a combination? I generally have my blue, ultramarine blue for me is a cool color. Some people have it as a warm color. So, it kind of depends where you stand. For me, it is a cool color because it is farther away on the color spectrum, on the light color spectrum. So I tend to use a warm yellow, a cool red, and a cool blue. But does it matter? No. I think if you have one color in there that is warm, you're pretty much on your way. Let me get here as an example of a warm and cool red. Here is a warm red, right? It moves, it's closer to yellow. It's moving towards yellow. Yeah, what Brazen is saying is true. So you can do you can put your colors, in the classic circular color wheel. I tend to do mine across because it represents the light color spectrum. And, from yellow, orange, I guess it would be red, yellow, orange. Yeah, that's not going to work. So what do we got over here? I'm sorry, I'm going to go into purple. I got myself confused there. In the purple, in order to gray it down, you're going to add a little bit of yellow. and you can create, you know, if you add a lot of yellow, right? This makes a great olive green color as well, but we're also moving towards like a raw umber look, so you can also create your earth tones depending on how much color you use. And, you know, really, it's so helpful to come back to the primary limited palette and paint using that. Check this out, you know, the difference. So just adding the yellow in here is going to create that for you. So what Brazen is talking about, if you're new to this, it might help if you do the circular color wheel. And you know, you can mix. I'll do a small one here. Oops. Out of the screen. Yellow, red, and then your blue. Okay, and then guys can see that all right, right? So then if you take a little bit of the blue and mix it with the yellow, you're going to get your green. Right? And, well, you know, the red and blue is going to create the purple. And this is going to get your orange. And then you have your classic color wheel. Get this a little bit greener. So here's the thing also. What we're doing is we're taking, let's say, the purple. If you go opposite the color wheel, which is what we have here, and which is what Brazen was talking about, if you go opposite the color wheel and you mix these two together, then you have created a gray. So, which is what we have done here, right? We added some of the lemon, so we created that gray. And you can do that with all the colors. So let's take, for example, the red and mix a little bit of green into that. And immediately you have a grayed down red. If you add more green and less red, you really gray down to this type of green. And you can see how you can, I mean, you guys, you can create any color that you need to paint your painting. Will it be exactly the same color that you're looking at? Maybe not, but that doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. What's more important is that you're mixing colors and playing around and getting a sense of where to go to mix the color that you need for your painting. And you know, I just love that. So to mix a gray, like a classic gray, here, first of all, let me clean up the palette a little bit. I gather everything and I put it in a pile. which I also mix up at the end and use as a gray. Like in these rocks. I'll show you. Like all these rocks here are mixed with these colors. And I just pile them together and mix them and use them as I need them. Okay, so Jomin, you use the opposite complementary color to gray down. Yes. Yes. That will always give you the gray, and then you can work it any way you want. So let's mix, let's say, let's mix a burnt sienna color. Let me get a burnt sienna. So let's say you have this color here. You have burnt sienna. And you want to mix it. Can you guys see? Let me move it up here. How are we going to get that color? I'm going to also move this. You guys clear this up a little bit. Here's the thing. When you are using a primary palette, even if you're using a warm and cool of each color, like a warm yellow and a cool yellow, and a warm and cool red, you can mix all the colors together and you won't create mud. You know, that awful black color, which can be useful in your painting at times, depending on what it is that you're painting. So let's say we want to create burnt sienna. We don't have it, we don't have a tube of it, and we need to create it just using this primary limited palette. I'm going to move this red, which is not part of what we're working with today. Okay. So burnt sienna is basically an orange. So we've got yellow and red. We mixed our orange. So I'm going to take the orange. And I mean, what do we do with it now, right? We're going to add blue. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's still very much higher in value than what's going on here. Let's add a little bit more. And can you guys see how that's kind of getting a slight greenish tint? Why is that? Somebody want to throw in the answer in the comments? So can you see that it just has this slightly, it is brown, right? We got a brown, which is what we were looking for, but how do we get it to here? Let's add some more red. Okay, that's looking better. That's getting closer, isn't it? Gonna add more blue, and it's just mixing up these three primary colors. You can mix anything you need. Okay, now it's getting there. But not quite. So let's get a little bit more of the red going. That's looking pretty close. I'm going to add a little bit more of the yellow. Just keep working with it. Now it's gone to, it looks more purpley to me. Actually, it's getting kind of close. So you can pretty much mix any color that you want. Right? So let's see how close we got. We're not trying to get exactly the same color. This burnt sienna that I'm using is from the Schminke company. And, you know, this one is different than Winsor Newton, different than, you know, M. Graham and other various brands. But can you see, like, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. See? So know that you do not need to go out and buy a ton of colors. You just don't need to. Get the basics and mix your colors. You guys, when you can mix your own colors, let me, is there a right, easier way to mix the colors to get that color? Or can you start out with mixing red and blue and add yellow? That's it. Red and blue and add yellow. Or blue and yellow and add red. So that is what will happen the more that you are color mixing, the more that you are painting. And if you are learning just using this primary limited palette, it will just happen. You will know exactly what you need. The more you play around with it, the more fun you have with it, you know, it'll just happen. So let's mix a black or a blackish color, all right? So we've got our blue, ultramarine blue. Let's get adding red. Okay, that's a pretty dark right there. And you can use it. If you add a little bit of yellow, this might be too much. I'm gonna go, right? And I'm just adding a little, this is still probably too much. Let's see what happens. Yep, I think it's too much. It's gonna green it up. But, you know, that's pretty dark. So here's the thing. Don't use black. Mix your own. Mix your own black. And you will begin to see, this is kind of a purpley black, right? So you can add more yellow. Let's see what happens if we add more yellow, if we can just kind of dull it down a little bit more. You see the difference? Can you see that? This one is more purpley, it has that purple, and this is just because it has a little bit more yellow, it just toned it down. It grayed it down. Yeah, okay, Vita, do the oil in acrylic tubes list the pigments in the tube, just like, yes, they do, Brazen. Whoops. They do. So you can see the pigments. But again, for today's little tutorial, we are not going into depth with things like that. So I'm just going to keep it to mixing, just mixing your own colors, and just get a yellow, a red, and a blue. I don't care what you have, you know, if it's a phthalo blue or if it's we're basically looking for primary colors. So a primary color means that it cannot be mixed. You cannot mix a yellow from other colors. You cannot mix the red from other colors, and you cannot mix the blue from other colors. You can mix different shades of blue, right? But you cannot make a blue. Like you can make an orange and you can make a green from the primaries. That is what a primary palette means. And with yellow, red, and blue, you can create anything that you need. Just have fun with it. So don't get lost in what the textbooks say. Don't get lost in what some teacher or some YouTuber out there, including me, tells you to do. Don't listen to anybody. In this stage, you just take these colors and play around. Now, let's take the colors that we've mixed, right? And see what happens when we add white. So white will desaturate your colors and lighten them at the same time. So let's get this out of the way. So you can tell over time if you like one pigment for a given subject. Oh, okay. Yeah, in time, when you play around and you really get to know the colors that you're working with, and like I said, we don't care, right? If you're just starting out painting, don't get stuck on, you know, the whole posh idea. Like, oh, I have to have a perfectly gessoed linen canvas to paint a lemon on. You know, you don't, just let go of all of that and get some canvas paper or, you know, like those bulk small canvas boards that you can get at the art store, and just go with that, right? And have some fun. Just have some fun. So here's one thing you can do is, you know, kind of do this gradation, right? You have your yellow, then you mix it here a little bit. You take a little bit of this and you mix even more yellow, and you get this, right? You get this gradation of all the colors. And this is also really important to do. So mixing up your colors, and then take those colors and add white. And in you know, a little bit here, and then a little bit more, and a little bit more, and then you get to the lightest color. Black did not exist. Black did not exist in a word in my language. Really? What language, Jomin? Is it Jomin or Yomin? Others, black did not exist as a word to describe color. Why are your messages being retracted? Okay, but blue, oh, I see, you took them off. But blue is used. Isn't that interesting? Because black is in fact a blue. It is blue. And let's take the orange. So here's the next exercise to do. All right, just adding a little bit of white, a little bit more white, a little bit more, and then just a tiny bit. Okay? If you do this basic exercise, mixing your 3 colors in all sorts of different ways, and just play around with it, just play around, have some fun, just like if when you were a kid and you're just exploring, you will in fact learn tons. So I'm going to make more green here. So again, the yellow, red, and blue are the primary colors. And the colors that you mix with these primary colors are called secondary colors. Okay? Because they're mixed from using 2 of the primaries. Okay, so I got some green there. Let's go with the red. You guys can see everything, right? I'm losing sun. Now, just know that reds are very, very strong pigments. So, there we go. You can, hard to see. When you're mixing your colors, you'll be able to tell. And if you can mix your colors on either, like, this is a piece of glass that I have painted on the back, a medium gray, not too light or not too dark. Yes, exactly. When you think about it, black is actually a very dark blue that fades away. Yeah, because it's a very, very grayed down blue. And let's work a little bit with the yellow. Here's another way you can mix a little green there. And you can do it backwards. Right? Can you see that? This is a great exercise, and just go through and do all of your colors so you can really learn about them, what they can do and what they can't do. These are all different ways you can do it. So you add a little bit of white. The blue, a little bit more white. And you know, you can also go online and see all the color charts and things like that. And I love color charts. But again, right now, don't worry about them. Oh, you mean put a little bit of the white here, right? To see that they are, how different they actually are. Well, Brazen, you're just full of good ideas today. Love that. That's why we need a community, because communities together can do wonders. We can find all the answers to the questions that we need, right? Here, there's the white. Let's see what we got. With our purple. Ooh, it's like a violet-y color. How nice. That's a little bit better. Get in there. There. So with this color palette, you guys, you can then take the yellow and the orange and mix those two together and, you know, add whites and see what you come up with. You can mix the yellow with the green and see what you come up with. It's just wonderful what we can do. Okay, so now is this the black that I did? Can you see that, you guys? Well, you know a lot about color, how color works, so that would be really, really helpful, Joman. Yeoman. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Brazen has been studying color theory for months. Yeah, I think when I was learning too, I didn't find a lot of people doing composition and design. Okay, so this is very purple. I guess it was a purple. So how are we going to make it more of a gray? I'm going to add the complementary color and let's see what we can come up with. Okay, so we have a gray here. It's kind of a warm gray. So if you have this, let's put it on the white, because sometimes you can see things differently, right? There's your gray. So this is a warm gray. It has a little bit more yellow in it. Does that make sense? Yeah, definitely would. I definitely would just go with your 3 basic primary colors, whichever ones you have, and just mix and explore and learn. So let's make this gray now cooler, right? Add a little bit of blue in there and let's see what we can get. Let's see what we got here now. It's the same mix with just a little bit more blue and red in it. And it darkened the gray and made it cooler. And you can just keep going, right? I mean, let's make it more orange, an orangey gray. Let's try that. So we're going to add some yellow and some red. Mix it right in. Which one? Yeoman or Joman? Because I started thinking maybe it's yeoman. Okay, so now here's an orange gray. These are all colors, you guys. These are the colors that you will use mostly in your painting. Yeoman. Yeoman. Yeah, it's the name of this guy right here. And you can add a little bit more blue to that, and let's see what happens when you mix the blue. We can make it a... What happens now? This is with some ultramarine blue added. Look what happens there. It's kind of coming close to here, but not quite. So, you know, you can go on, and let's add more white and see what we've got. If you're starting out color mixing, I would definitely go with titanium white just to start off with. I wouldn't do zinc white. That's kind of a pinkish gray. So if we don't like the pinkish gray, we add a little bit more yellow, and that will tone it back. Make it more orangey. I mean, look at this. Look at all those wonderful colors that you can use in your landscapes, in your paintings. You have the colors you have are graphite pencils. Yeah. Yeah, well, okay. So if we were talking about the value scale, you would understand a lot about values then, just by use of your graphite pencils. Each one has a different value, ability, I guess we'll put it that way. So you guys, I mean, you can just paint and paint and paint and mix. Are there any questions? Is there something that I missed? You can mix your own black. You can mix your own grays. Let's get a gray going, like a gray, a very dull gray. So greenish blue. So we'll add a little bit of the red. Some yellow. A little bit more red. Okay, let's see what we got. That looks a bit greenish, but let's see what we have here by mixing it into the white. Right, a very, very mellow gray for a rock that I can use on my painting, right? Jumin, that's the one. That's the one that I've been saying. Thanks for the clarification. So, you know, again, you can see that these are the grays that I've been using, right? And, you know, I can add, this is just right on, I can just start painting again. I have a whole array of colors just using this primary limited palette. And this is basically what I use, you guys. It is basically what I use. So I think I have, oh, it's already 8 o'clock. Eek. How are you guys doing on time? Has that been helpful? Yeah, yeah. Anything that that we're using. You guys might hold on. I'm gonna. Here's my there's my view outside my studio. Okay, so anyways, let me get back here, and the sun is going down. So yeah, I'm painting a lemon. Can we come? Oh, you know what we'll do? First of all, questions. What is it that you would like me to do next time? Yeah, the views are great here, aren't they? Okay, but I went to draw with ink. Oh, I see. My goodness. Well, still, you need to use your values, and you still need to use values, don't you? So it is getting dark. I think next Sunday, I'm going to do another tutorial next Sunday. So values, Erin, is that what you're interested in? One on values. Oh, so okay. I hear you, Joman. So you're basically doing like the no-tan drawings, a no-tan style drawing, just black and white. I find that interesting. I find values hard when it comes to all the middling ones. Yes, okay. I can. We can do values. We can do values, and perhaps. Yeah, yeah, we can do values, and maybe also if you. I have a couple of videos on my channel that deal with values, and maybe are you good at mixing colors generally? You feel comfortable mixing your colors? And if you are, then we can actually do a tutorial on creating color charts, which is usually takes a little while. Yeah, yeah. I like that idea to work with just three values. A dark, your darkest dark that you can get with the color, and the lightest light, and one right in the middle. And from the three values, then you can work with the five values. I can do that. We can do that together, or I can do a video on it and put it up for you. So here, let me, if I still have enough light, Erin, let's see if I can get, duck. I'm going to smudge up all of this. Clean this off. My light is getting off. So so here's the thing. When you clean off your palette at the end of the day, put everything in one pile. Just one big pile. And mix it up, and you have a great gray to start with, and that you can use when you're putting your painting together. I'm going to leave the colors there, so let me see if I can get a light that's not going to be glaring. Maybe over on this side. Yeah, that gave some light, didn't it? So the values are from your darkest dark to your lightest light. So if you're working with values, this is one end of the value. It will be your whites. Right here, let me go this way. And then I'm going to take this purple, dark purple color. This is your darks. Okay, so this is an unmixed color. It could be the yellow. That's the darkest yellow for this, right? If you're going to do it that way, just using those colors. But let's go with this. So you're going to take, this is one value, this is another one, and then you're going to use one in the middle. So you're going to mix a mid-tone, right? And that is just somewhere in the middle. This has too much white in it, okay? Well, actually, no. If you squint down and look at against the gray, because I have a mid-tone gray on this palette. So then you could paint. I haven't got a blank canvas ready. All right, well, this isn't going to work. I'm just telling you because it's not gessoed and it's paper. It's paper. But let's say you're going to take like the darks. Bear with me. And here you would use your mid-value tone for like the back side. I'm going to mix. I'm not going to use the white because it's on white paper. You know, the light side of the lemon, let's say. Or this egg-shaped thing. And that's just using 3 values to get a sense of form. So, I mean, look at that. It's badly put together, but you get what I mean. Right? And here are the darks. Right, and you have some sense of form. And then what you want to do is take the darks and this one and mix those together. And if you become comfortable doing this, you can use these 5 values, right? You have your dark, and this is the number 4. You're using 5 values. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. just barely adding a little bit of that in. So this is a 5-value scale. You start out with the darkest color that you're using, and white, and then you mix a mid-tone, a mid-value, which is right here. And then you mix those two together, and you mix these two together. And when you have this, you can paint anything. You can paint an entire painting with just these 5 values. It will be believable. People will know exactly what is going on, and it works. It works really well. So, you know, let's see if I can paint a better version of this. Getting the a purple lemon, let's say. Okay, and then you would put your little highlight spot. Okay, this is very haphazard, obviously, you guys. But you get the idea, right? You can pretty much create anything with these 5 values, and it will be believable. Even a purple lemon. Let's get a little. There would be a shadow under there, right? Okay, Erin, I haven't been able. Yes, Erin, yes. Mixing the middle and the dark to expand. And then you come to a 5 value range. And then you can mix the dark with this mid-dark, this value, to create an even more subtle range. And this one with this one. And here with here, right? And here with here, and then you have a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you can keep going into like a 9 value range. But really, you don't need much more than if you're just starting out, just work with the 5. Right? And again, you guys, rule number one is we're doing all this because it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. And as you're playing around and experimenting, you're learning. You learn everything you need to know about color mixing, about, you know, about how to create the colors that you need. Look at this. Here's all these colors that I mixed from the values, this value scale from dark to light. Here is the gray that I came up with. It's a great color for rocks or for land, a stretch of land moving towards the background of a painting. Areas that the negative space that can be used in a painting. So, I mean, gosh, I don't know. You could even use it at, let's say we're taking this and we're using it as a foreground type thing, right? Getting some kind of Again, this is just a piece of paper, so it's not going to hold or spread or work very well, but you get the picture. Also, I highly suggest that you guys don't paint on white canvas, that you first tone it. I have videos on my YouTube channel, but it's really very simple. If you don't know about toning your canvas, just take a burnt sienna and paint all over it and get rid of the white, right? Yay! I love doing things like this. And then let's add some white to this to this gray, and just kind of, you know, again, I'm not set up, and it's just kind of, my brush is going all over, but you see what I mean, right? There. And we have a little painting. Yeah. Anyways, so you can see it that just with these colors, there's just such a breadth of things that you can do. And Jomin, we didn't do a blue lemon, we did a purple lemon. So from the shadow need to be lit up behind. You mean this shadow here, up on the back side, right? Yeah, officially, if you're going to be very, very specific about to create form, you do need to have this sense of it being lighter on the back side. Is that what you mean? Gray for graphite lemons. Yeah. So, I mean, just playing around here, right? But you can see that you can do anything. You can paint the same, you know, little squiggly kind of lemon. You can paint the same kind of squiggly lemon. Let me get that over here. Sorry for the motion. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so first of all, I hope that was helpful to you, and I hope I was able to answer some of your questions and just give you a framework. Again, the number one thing to do, especially when you're learning how to paint and learning how to mix colors, is to just do it. And don't read up on it. Don't get stuck on what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing, or what you think you might. Just forget it. Come back to when you were 5 years old and you just have these 3 colors and white, and you're just playing around and mixing. Do that, and you can begin to build then a deeper understanding of how color works and what you can do with it, right? I mean, like this painting up here that I did was basically with a primary limited palette. Some warm and cooled, but not all of them. Usually my blues is just ultramarine blue. I don't usually add another blue. And I live in Greece, right, where everything is blue and white, right? It's just blue and white. But that's not necessary. You know, if I do this like intense blue and white painting, it's not going to be a good painting. It's just not going to be a good navy blue submarine lemons. You guys are so fun. Okay, So next week, Erin, did that kind of get you in a framework of what you need for values to get started on values? Answer that for me. And if not, then I can help you more. Yeah, of course, shadows in the middle. Yeah, absolutely. But we'll get into that later. Okay, so this is what I want you guys to know is I am I'm here for you if you have any questions and you need to see another type of tutorial on how to put it all together or working with what you're beginning to understand. I'm here for you. Get in touch with me. Get in touch with me. And if any of you are interested in joining the, I have a $2.99 membership on YouTube, $2.99 a month, $2.99 a month, $3 a month. It's a half a coffee. If you want to join us there, it's a very small group. We're very private, and we talk about all sorts of things. This next discussion that we're going to have this week, Wednesday, Brazen, if you're still here, Wednesday is going to be our day that we're going to hook up. We are talking about something a little bit more expansive, which is what exactly is art today. 50 years ago, it was somewhat different than it is today because of social media. And how do you know if you're looking at artwork or if you're looking at just, self-expression? And is it art, in fact, or is it just, or is it just? So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about that. Brazen, can you come on Wednesday? It'll be morning your time, I think 7 o'clock on Wednesday my time. So I think for you it would be maybe 10-ish. Yes, a philosophical dive into what is art today and how things change. And this is the intention, not to find a right or wrong answer, because I don't really think there is a right or wrong answer. You can either look at it from the perspective of, 50 years ago and what was art, and today with social media and everybody coming online and being an artist, and what that means. And has art been diluted, or has it just expanded into a new form? And it would be an interesting topic. So all of us together are going to create an answer, a collective answer based on what we all believe. So so that's what we're going to talk about. But the other things that we talk about in the group are, painting. Specifically things like this, talking about values, talking about composition and how to put that together, the design of a painting. What is the design of a painting and how is it different from your composition? Things like that. So we all get information, and I am there to also answer your questions more specifically in the best way that I know how. Giving you what I know, which does not mean that it's the correct answer and you must follow me. Not at all. I tell you what I do and why I do it and where I am and the reasons why I do things this way. Let's say in this painting or in the rock painting, what I'm doing and how I'm working on it. And maybe some of the things that I'm doing are helpful to you, and you can take them and use them in your own creative realm and just kind of embrace a new thought or idea creatively and play around with it and see what you can come up with. That's what I love about about communicating with you. Oh, really? Okay. Well, Brazen, let's talk. I can also come on earlier on Wednesday. So if we come on an hour earlier, 11 a.m., like at 10 for you, then if you have just a little bit of time to sit in and chat with us, that would be great. It would be great. So we'll talk. We'll talk on the members in the members channel. Community channel, right? Where we can, I'll put up a time and we'll see what works. All right, you guys. So if you haven't got any questions, media, wait, is it art or just social media attention seeking? Yeah. Is it art or is it just social media attention seeking? Or is it just like self-expression? I'm just expressing myself on the canvas. Usually, okay, if you're doing self-expressive work or this expressionistic type of painting where you're just throwing colors on the canvas and creating shapes and what feels good to you and what, more in the abstract realm, is it art? Or isn't it? And that's an interesting question. It's a very interesting question, and I do not have an answer as of yet, and so I'm really looking forward to hearing. Okay, Brazen, we'll do 10 o'clock your time then. Okay, it'll be 6 o'clock my time here. So if any of you want to join up, that would be great. We would love to have you. And please leave a comment. Also ask me or go to my website, www.vitaevenson.com, and you can send me an email if you want to talk to me. You can also sign up for the newsletter. I don't send out a lot of newsletters, but here and there, announcing a couple of things and talking about a few things. Let's see, my impression is that art is the language one uses to communicate the human experience. Oh, yes, I would agree with that. The question then is, if I am in my little tiny studio and I have a canvas out and I have a bunch of paints and I'm just throwing it on the canvas and creating something because I'm taken by the feeling, by an expression, an emotion that I'm going through and I'm expressing it on the canvas. Is that art? Or is it simply me expressing myself on a canvas? And meaning this is, if you put it up in a gallery, this self-expression type of painting, you put it up in a gallery and people come by and look at it, how many will understand what you're doing? Will there be a predefined purpose for the painting? Or is it just, I feel like doing this, I feel like doing that, which I'm not saying isn't art, right? But, how do you know the difference? How do you know? And is it even important to know? I go into an art gallery and I like a particular painting and I don't like another. Why? Is it just because energetically I connect with one because that is an area where, we're on the same kind of level, and I don't connect with the other one because I'm just not vibing, I'm not humming, my energy isn't in that place, it's in this place, at this painting. Is that art? And is it valid art? Why not, right? It's just a fascinating question. And put yourself in the spotlight. In that process, you were not doing art. Yeah. You want to hear the story. If one uses red to express sadness, it is not stereotypically a color to express sadness. So less may grasp. I intend the meaning of the artist. Yeah, that's. See. That's a very valid point, Brazen. So I a couple days ago, when I wasn't here for the morning musings, it was on Thursday. This past Thursday, I traveled to another area in Greece, and I met a man whose father was a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and he was helping people. And he used art. They created paintings just of their emotions, right? And he began to learn to understand how to read these paintings and understand so that he could help them. And this person, so he grew up with a lot of art around him, and he understands art, he understands the classic art, and he was talking about an artist that he knew from where he was raised in Mallorca. And this artist created incredible works of art, abstract art, but abstract art that had a purpose, it had a definite meaning, it was well thought out. It wasn't just coming in and throwing colors on the canvas. It was well thought out. There was a purpose behind it and underneath it. And he never, ever sold himself out there to get known, to be recognized. None of that. So that is, Joman, what you are saying, right? I mean, this, a true artist, somebody who just creates to express, to express abstractly on his canvas a purpose, a thought, a feeling, something that other people coming to look at this painting, one of his paintings, most of them will connect with that and know. But he never went out and displayed himself all over the place like we do on social media, like we do. I have seen people become artists on social media who, I mean, right? Like, yeah. And I'm not saying that the more you paint, the better you get. I have seen people wanting to paint landscapes who could not do it for the life of them. And as the more they paint and the more they paint and the more they learned, now they paint very beautiful landscape paintings. I have seen it. I have taught these people who are like, oh, I'm not an artist. I can't do that. And then you teach them some of these basic things. I've got 5 basic things that I teach. 5 basic things. And anybody can paint a landscape painting, right? Or a seascape painting or a still life. And the first stage of the 5 that I talk about is learning how to play with your primary limited palette and learning how to mix your colors. You got that down, values come. The value scale comes. You begin to understand and see things differently. And as that grows, then you get your composition and design. And how does that work? How do you actually put the painting together, right? And then, moving into the layers of the painting and putting the painting together, atmospheric perspective and edges and things like that. And then you get the final details and you're done. You have a painting. You have a beautiful painting. Even if you think that you can't paint, you can paint. Believe me, I have seen over and over people just go way beyond what they ever expected that they could do. Okay. Yes, not art from art we don't like. Yes. Okay. If you are so abstract, you are not communicating anything, then it isn't my definition above, not art. I didn't see what you wrote above. You're not communicating anything. I guess I'm not understanding what you're saying, Joman. It follows if you try to put yourself in the spotlight. In that process, you are not doing art. I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know. That's an interesting thing to say. I'm going to think about that. I actually don't. My first thought is that if you are creating art and putting it out in galleries or up on social media, that it doesn't take away from the value of the art just because you're putting it up on social media. But that would be my first thought on that, Joman. I'm not sure if I agree with you there. Yeah, not art from art we don't like. Definitely. So it's a huge topic, and that's why I say I want my purpose in the group is to just everybody come in with their own ideas, and let's see if we can, as a small community that we are, create together, put the pieces together and come up with a workable answer. Doesn't mean it's a right answer. It doesn't mean it's not an answer that cannot develop and morph into a new meaning 3 months from now, right? But I'm very curious to see what everybody thinks about that. So you guys, I have to get going. This has been great. Thank you so much for coming and allowing me to talk your ear off and to just kind of play around with the colors. Again, if you have any questions, get in touch with me. We can hook up and talk, and I will gladly answer any questions that you have. Okay. And if there's a, just that'll just be helpful enough. And then some of those questions I might do like a YouTube quick video. Wonderful, Erin. Thank you. It was nice. It was really nice to have you here. Thank you, Brazen. I will see you on Wednesday. Okay. All right, you guys, have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. Just have a lovely time. Play around, enjoy, breathe, relax, mix your colors, and just, paint up. Let's just paint something. All right. You can send me your paintings as well. I'll happily talk to you about them in a beautiful way. Thank you, Beb. Thank you, darling. Is Wednesday okay for you? 6 o'clock my time here in Greece. Just letting you know, we're going to get together in the membership group. Okay? So let me know if that time works for you as well. All right, you guys. Have a beautiful, wonderful, I will see you there. I'll have the Zoom link in the members community tab. Okay? Bye, sweetie. Take care. All right, you guys, I'm on my way. Ciao.